Okay, camera's going dead, but I sprung another leak, guys. See that pissing out of there? That's only a temporary fix when I fixed the fuel lines on it, but I should have kept going and fixed it right when I was working on it. See her spraying out there? Woo! All over my camera. That's got to be good for it. Now I'm going to tighten her up. Let's see how quickly I can do this before I lose all my fuel. Holy smokes! Oh, damn it, it's a friggin' line. I'm going to do that. She's not tightening up, boys. I'm going to have to resort to a fuel pump in a bucket, I think. But that's going to have to wait for another day. Look at the gas I'm losing. Damn it. JB Weld? No. Maybe I can move the hose clamp closer. Let's shut her off. Okay, I'm going to try double hose clamping. I pushed the one clamp farther. My biggest fear is that the line is rusted where it goes into here and it's spraying out. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to shovel the driveway by hand. And I'm going to have to get the old truck going to get my firewood. That should be fun. Until I get this, I'm going to have to pull the float unit out of here. And we're going to redneck fuel pump it like you've seen in some other some other people's videos. I'm not going to name names, but a 5-gallon pail works good. It's simple. It's just 2 hoses, pressure line in and a return, and you'll have 2 of these. There's 4 here, 2 for the fuel gauge and 2 for the fuel pump, and it's not too hard to figure out. Usually you just trace them back into the pump. Once you pull it out, you can tell which ones are which is ground, which is power. If you want to get fancy, you could even put the fuel gauge in there. But we'll tighten this up and get back to you to see if it works. Okay, double hose clamping. It didn't do a thing for it. You can see it's done. The line must be cracked coming out here. So I have 2 options now. I'm going to shovel the driveway by hand, and I think it's going to have to make 1 trip into the field to get loaded full of firewood because I'm running out, as you can see. So that really sucks. So stay tuned for part 2 of the fuel pump fix on this Pathfinder. Okay, $17 later for a bucket, a lid, and 8 hose clamps. I should have just used that bucket right there. It was $6.99 for the bucket, another $1.99 for the lid. That's crazy. Alright, let's get removing this fuel pump out of here and get to it. Now I've kind of scraped away the rust. I'm going to try my luck removing that. If it doesn't work, I'm going to come in here with a big chisel and hammer and give that a hit, smash that. We're going to shear those heads off. We're going to try to remove them the easy way first. Now I'm kind of pissed off myself because I should have been more prepared for this. 5/16, 8mm, same thing. I hate being not prepared. I should have fixed this before, but it wasn't leaking until it got cold, so of course not. But I should have had my plow on by now instead of waiting until the last minute. We weren't getting any snow, so anyway, gonna take all these out. I'm gonna cut this one off and take that out. Anyway, you get the idea. Remove this out of here. Actually, before I remove all the screws out of here, we need to pump the old tank out of there, the old fuel out of there. So I'm gonna figure out which wires are what here. I'm gonna jump this fuel pump with a battery charger, and we're gonna put a piece of pipe on the end of this and pump the fuel out. Now I fashioned a piece of steel line that I'm going to use later for the bucket, so we're going to hook that into my fuel pump line. I'm not going to worry about clamping it because there won't be any pressure. We're going to install that line and then put it in the bucket, and then we're going to figure out which wire is which here, and we're going to jump this sucker. Okay, the smart thing to do would be to get someone in there to turn the key on, and your power wire should come live for 3 seconds. And under crank it should be live. But since I don't have that option, one of these will be ground and one's going to be the power. You can see the ground's broke off the gas tank, so I need to figure out which one it is. Now it could be a combination of any of these 2. I might have to get the wife out here to help me turn the key on. She's going to be grumpy. It's really cold out here. Okay, no, this way. Shut it off. Okay, key on. Okay, I'm waiting for it to go out. Just leave it on for a second. Should only be on for 3 seconds. It's not, so that's probably the fuel gauge. Shut it off. Key on. That's gotta be ground. Key off. Okay, key on. That's probably the low fuel light, warning indicator. Key off. Key on. My fuel pump just died. Strange.
Want it off?
Nope. Crank it. Off. This is weird. Let's try this one. Okay. Key on. Crank it. Off. Huh. Okay. One more. Key on.
No, don't hurry. It's right.
Okay, just leave it there. Don't touch it. Yeah, I think I got the right one. As soon as I... Okay, that's the one. Okay. So it's this one right here. No, just shut off. You can go now. Thank you.
I didn't have to hurry.
Okay, so now we got the right wire. This one here is probably my fuel gauge. And one of these two is going to be ground. We're not concerned with that just yet. I'm just trying to drain my fuel tank. Okay, I'm going to use a booster battery here to power the fuel pump if it's got enough charge left in it. It's been sitting all winter in the garage. We're going to hook it up here first, and then we'll hook it up down there so we don't get any sparks, okay? Okay, I found a good ground, which is hard to believe on this old slug, but we're going to go ahead. Hopefully we don't blow ourselves up. Okay, here she comes. I'm going to drain that fuel because I just put like, I don't know how much in there, 20 bucks, where that can holds. Well, I didn't put it all in, but I don't want to waste it. Even though sometimes water is worth more than gas around here, sometimes I think, but we're going to drain that and we'll get right back to you. Okay, since I don't want to burn the fuel pump out by running out of fuel, I'm probably not going to get it all out of there. Oh, maybe I lied. You can see the bubbles starting to form in there, so she's pretty much empty. I'm not going to let it run too much longer. I don't want to burn the pump out. That's enough. Okay, there's always one bolt hole in the fuel pump that doesn't want to come out. Now I could peen the head a little bit, or use a 7mm socket. I got this big cold chisel. It's going to knock the head off. If you're scared about starting a fire or whatever by sparks, then by all means rinse it down with water. I'm not scared, so I'm just going to... There, that's all it takes. There might be one more. Nope, okay. I'm going to cut the rest of these wires. I'm going to pull that sucker out of there. Right now is a good time to mark your power wire because they all look the same. I'm just going to strip the end of this one off. Then I'm going to use a butt connector after. So I know that's the one. I'll cut the rest of them off and we'll pull that out of there. Okay, that gasoline is cold as hell. Okay, try not to lose your lines. And we're going to pull that pump out of there. I may go under later and cut the tank out of there. It's just dead weight now. This is my fuel pump assembly. If I can get that float unit out of there. Not that I really care about it too much, but it'd still be nice to have the float unit out. There it is. Okay. Get my camera full of gasoline. That's not good. Now what I'm going to do is take the hose clamp out of here and use this hose. Really all you got to do is take the pump out of here. We want the strainer still. But if you want to get fancy, you can use the float unit still. Which you'll have to clean the top of this shit off and kind of set it down in the pump. The whole pump down in here. Like so. It's going to hit anyway, so why bother? So, it's just cold on the fingers. So we're going to remove the fuel pump from the housing because we don't really need it. Now, obviously, red is power, so there's our power wire, and the other side is our ground. And this is just a return line. We don't need that either. We do need the strainer, though, so we got to keep all that on. Let's disassemble this baby and get her in the bucket. I'm running out of time here. Okay, now I got the heart of the fuel system out. You see there? I'm going to mount that down in the bucket now. I need to make a hole in the lid for a 3/8 line, and then we're going to mount it down here with some wires running to it, and we're going to leave that vent on there. I might even get fancy later and add the fuel gauge, but I doubt it. Okay, so you'll end up with something like this. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Got the wires fed through. I got 3 holes, one for the wires, one for the main, and one for the return. We'll worry about the return in a little while. I'm gonna have to obviously seal these holes up with some kind of stuff. Anyway, let's put her down in place. And I made it sit against, flat against like that. Put the lid on the sucker. I should put some more fuel in it first. I don't think I can get that back open once it gets closed. I'm gonna dump the rest of my gas in there, and then we're gonna try her out here. Okay, so I know which one's power. I'm not sure which one's the ground here. I don't think there is one. There could be one. What you could do is hook your test light to your known power and then check each one of these for a ground. But since this one come off top of the tank, that's the one I'm going to use right there. I can tell. Buttons are freezing. Okay, return line is in place. Only thing I might actually do later is drop that tank out of there since I don't need it anymore. I don't like that open spout with a little bit of fuel in there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of plug it with something. I don't like the fumes coming out of it. Okay, I'm just going to around crank it up here and let you guys see this. If it works, it doesn't. And my battery's frigged. Hang on, guys. Okay, guys, let's try it again. Success! Oh man, I'm ever glad to hear that run again. Okay, you see we did a heart transplant here. That's a $17, well, I shouldn't call it $17. $17 I had to spend today on the bucket and the hose clamps. But this line I had from another job, I'm going to remove that spare tire holder. It's in the way anyway, and I'm going to put this bucket in there and I'm going to mount it right in there. Then I'm going to cover all this crap up so I can't get it with the firewood. Okay guys, there's the $17 fuel pump repair. Please leave a comment, rate, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. You can see I'm full of grease, and it's friggin' cold out here. Time to go in the house with a wood stove. Hope you guys like that. I'm still thinking about the airbag shoes, but I know you guys don't want me to do it. So anyway, you're gonna see what happens with that, okay? Talk to you guys later. Bye.